Time to bring the bass bird.
Swear I'm going big like a lineman. She want bring the limes in. She wanna pull up to the crib, we can't dine in. Up right away, couldn't even get a vine in. Straight with the money, we aligned in. Tell me how they broke, tryna chime in. Jesus watching over, he in diamonds. He the only reason why do not get violent. Ay, cause he gave me patience. Ay, swear that don't make sense. Ay, when you making bands, can make friends. Cause I know they tryna shit like Ray Bans. Got a bad little shorty wasting. And I own it, I ain't gotta pay rent. Ay, I know we the ones that ain't them. Put both hands together and I'm saying amen. Cause I'm going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm going big, going bigger. Postmates how I deliver. My game too cold, made a shiver, but I'm still a hot boy. Cool it down, let it simmer. Hey, see him mad, got him bitter. Can't stop the shine with a dimmer. Only what I give her, and she let her call me baby, but I do not need a sitter. See me dip, yeah, I'm saucing. People at the bank see me often. Let the money run, it's a faucet. She gave me the that's a faucet. Took over the game, now we all in. I was down in the chips, then went all in. Throwing up the game, ain't no vomit. Make my mama stop working, that's the promise. Going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm
Time to bring the bass bird.
Blow your mind.
my new bag. Run it back.
48 yards, I run it back. Ay, I cop a car, I run it back. Go yo, then run it back.
Run it back.
Hello,
That's the jag calling.
let me click over real quick.
Let my jag talk it.
I eat, ooh, Pac-Man
the stress.
You don't make no clap back when you backpack my bad, but I'm past that. But a NASDAQ, that's cash. When the money fall, I'ma slap that. Clap when the money go, you don't slap. That's facts. If the money low, I'ma grab. Brown man, when it come back, I'ma give back my bad. When the check hit, the direct hit, I'm glad. When the check missed, the direct hit, I'm sad. Like who's that knocking at my window? They say that it's the money, I'm like tenfold. Over and out. That's gon' make you fuck like a limbo. She said she not a, she an. Why you do that like that? It's a lot of money. Why are you mad like that? Ooh, I'm in my new bag, my bad. You ain't getting too bad, my bad. First of the month, I'ma run it back. Same day, why I'ma run it back. Friday, payday, run it back. Run it back, run it back, run it back. 48 yards, I run it back. I cop a car, I run it back. Go your then run it back. Run it back, run it back, run it back.
The NFL playoffs are upon us. It's the coach in Orlando, and you're tuned in to Madden Ultimate Team on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be an interesting matchup between the Los Angeles Rams and the New England Patriots. With that, let's head on up to Foxborough. Standing by with the call at Gillette Stadium, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This, of course, a big one, CD. Rematch of Super Bowl 53, and I'm not usually one for predictions, but something tells me we're going to see more than 16 points here.
You don't think we'll see 14 punts again?
I got to be honest, I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not, too. But just think about how things have changed a little bit. Gronk, who made one of the biggest plays in the Super Bowl down the stretch, no longer with the Patriots. And I don't think that the moment will be too big for the Rams going forward.
This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. So out come the Rams now for their first possession. Their leader is the 9-time Pro Bowler. You know him as John Elway.
And what a player in so many different ways. A terrific athlete. Great guy who could move around, create plays, extend plays. Had an arm that could go with anyone in any era. Absolutely fantastic player. An MVP in the regular season 1987 and the Super Bowl MVP in the last game he played for the Broncos then.
Here we go. 60 Pittsburgh. Standing situation. Let's go.
This is a guy who made a Pro Bowl in his second season, James Conner. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, Elway looking middle, and it's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Now Elway to throw. And he goes down. It's a Patriot sack.
Now that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
On 4th down on is Dustin Colquitt to kick this away. Back deep is Marcus Sherrills. And he'll take it just outside the 40. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Patriots will have great starting position as they take over 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, here's Vick. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. This is caught. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Patriot touchdown. Randy Moss, 46 yards. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Lutz with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. And we can break that scoring drive down pretty easily. One play, long touchdown pass into the end zone.
Into the zone.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Rams offense working their way back out here at 3-0 on the young season. Interestingly tied with the San Francisco 49ers atop the NFC West, also at 3-0. But let's look ahead for the Rams. They host Tampa Bay, then they'll travel to Seattle. How much do you like this Rams team, Charles?
I like them a lot because we've seen throughout history teams that get to the Super Bowl and don't win traditionally struggle the next season. And this Rams team has put that behind them, the loss to New England, and found a way to start 3-0 this year. And I like the toughness they're exhibiting, both mentally and physically. I think they should handle Tampa Bay next week at home. Then going to Seattle, that'll tell us a lot because last year they beat Seattle twice in the regular season, but they didn't like the style. Seattle beat them up running the football. Let's see if they can match that same intensity this year with their defense.
That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. Can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. 35 yards on the return. Picked up some good blocks as well. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. Now they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you run into big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now. Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Kenny Clark, the big D tackle there to make the stop.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, you've got a receiver here who's got 1 touchdown already in this first quarter, and they were trying to double his pleasure there, wanting to continue to go to the guys already gotten into the end zone. But good coverage to make sure that this time it fell incomplete.
To throw, Vic. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that is caught. But he will come down out of bounds, says the side judge. Incomplete. The Patriots come up empty on 4th down. And the Rams are going to take possession of the turnover on downs. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping. Oh, now Elway has it stripped. The ball is out, and it's picked up by the Patriots. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return and a Patriot touchdown. And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
This is fielded at the goal line. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And let's just say they're going to be looking to start over on this drive. A few moments ago, they were in the exact situation, but their first play led to a fumble that was returned for 6.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a short memory to play in the NFL. You got to remember what you did wrong so you don't repeat it, but you can't dwell on it because then you will repeat it, and that's what you don't want to do.
Now whistles and a flag down. I think one of the Rams linemen might have moved. Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
The false start hurts them there a bit. Backs them up to 2nd and 9. Out of the gun, Elway. And that'll be incomplete. Jared Cook, the tight end, was the target. And it'll bring up 3rd down. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. From the gun is Elway. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete. The linebacker, C.J. Mosley, there in coverage. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
A 46-yard punt, 8 yards on the return. And the Patriots take over. Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. The 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, New England. Randy Moss, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Patriots, they add on to their lead. Now, he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. And it is now 21-0. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. 1 play, touchdown. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Todd Gurley and the offense, they get set and trot back out there now. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement. Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? They run. It's Gurley. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
Well, to me, that's taking a big gamble defensively because that alignment you see, that's normally something you see down near the goal line. Because now, if they decide to go play action, something should be open there, and I think open big.
So maybe that's something that gets filed away for later.
I think without a doubt, you write it down, and if you see that look at a later date, go ahead and take your shot.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will be alongside. He'll have highlights and analysis from Orlando of this first half. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Now it's Elway. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. The Stork, Hall of Famer Ted Hendricks. In there to drop him. It sacks on first and second downs. Now leads to a third and long. On third down, they'll run it with Gurley. Finding some room at midfield. And finally taken down at the 30-yard line. And he gets this all the way down to the Patriots' 30.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
The Pats are going to get there. Down he goes. Khalil Mack able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his third sack of the afternoon. And the pressure gets to him again. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down. Went backwards. It's third and very long. 7 yards on the carry there, but now they're staring at fourth down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because
sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Colquitt on the kick as he sends it away. Here comes Michael Vick now leading his offense back out there. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they feel really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first half trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and put him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on first and 10. For more. A big play there just before halftime. 59 yards. Great run there. It looked like they were going to have it for the stop. He was able to push through. They didn't let up defensively.
No, they didn't. All credit to the runner for making it happen, breaking through some time.
That is caught on this for a Patriots touchdown. Michael Vick, his third touchdown pass in his first half. And the Patriots, they add on to their lead.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Lutz to try to add the PAT. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. Hardly any time taken off the clock there. 2 plays, and they find the end zone for 6 points. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a heavy rush, and down he goes. The sack cost him only a yard. It's 2nd and 11. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome everyone to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one, maybe not the hard-fought battle many had hoped for. This has been blowout city thus far, but still more football to be played. Who knows what could happen? As we send you right back out to Brandon Gaudin.
And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. So here we go for half number 2. The Patriots with the lead, and they will be getting the football. This fielded at the 2. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Now Michael Vick and the rest of his offense getting ready for their next drive. He's got to like what he's seen from himself so far, right, Charles? He's just looking, had a great first half, good here in the third quarter, just looking to keep that going.
So what you're saying is he can't wait to watch the game film on this
He's
one,
going to
right?
like that session.
He's going to love what he sees, but he wants to finish up strong, continue to be as sharp as what we've seen in this game, and find a way to close it out with even bigger numbers.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Levante David making his presence felt in the backfield. Third and long for Vick. He's going to fire one deep left sideline, and that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's fourth down.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
Now, the offense failed earlier on the previous crack at this, but they're going again on fourth down. Vick readies to throw. Oh, and he'll just get rid of this one deep. And this is going to be incomplete. A surprising move to go for it, and predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And the Rams get the football in outstanding field position. Now Elway, and he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Khalil Mack, who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
They'll try and pick up the first with Gurley. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to bring up a fourth down. Another example of just a dominant performance by this defense.
Yeah, you hear all the time about teams that try to steal signals from the other side and try and learn their signs and their tendencies. It's almost like they got the answers to the exam the night before and were well prepared for this final.
So he splits the uprights and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good three-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
Here comes Michael Vick now leading his offense back out there. He was good in the first half. He's been good still here so far in the third quarter, Charles.
It almost feels like when you're watching, all those drills that you know that they go through, all that extra practice, it's all coming together in this one, hasn't it? Everything's been sharp, everything's been accurate, and the yards continue to pile up, as do the rest of the stats.
Yeah, the yards. He's got the 3 touchdowns, no interceptions so far. Vick now. And he will score. Touchdown, Patriots. A 3-yard touchdown run as his guys continue to pour it on. So the big play to kick off the drive set them up first and goal, and they're able to cash in right away on play number 2.
I think I'm starting to understand more and more when we get ready to do games and we meet with coaches why they talk about big plays, explosive plays, and how it sets them up for success, because that's exactly how they're able to score on this one. We saw the touchdown. We saw the payoff. But, of course, that big, long chunk play is what got them in position.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean,
Through an opening, and there he goes. Past the 20. Touchdown, L.A. Jared Cook, 73 yards. And the Rams are able to draw a bit closer. Oh, that's pretty impressive, Charles. It's one thing to be an elite speed wide receiver and have all that yards after the catch into the end zone, but from your tight end?
Yeah, you don't get that very often. What you're describing is more like a Tyreek Hill, a Devontae Adams, and Antonio Brown. You're not talking about a guy that lines up or can line up in line and look like an extra tackle on running plays. He took that bad boy downfield just like he was a scat back.
Before the game, he told me, I'm going to have a zinger or two today. And I thought, a zinger or two? I guess that's a zinger, right?
That's a zinger.
Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive. As they score here, especially a touchdown, it's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team. That their drive and will to come back and win can be taken.
It's caught inside the 25. Back now in Foxborough. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Now a first down run is going nowhere. He's going to be dropped in the backfield, a loss of 2. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose 1 or 2. On 2nd and 12, Vick. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some.
And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know that plenty of people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it ends with a New England touchdown. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is fielded at the goal line. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. So now here are the Rams as their offense comes back out. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, we'll see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been.
And he goes down. It's a Patriot sack. The Stork, Hall of Famer Ted Hendricks, picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Here's Elway to throw. Over the middle, it's Jared Cook. There he goes left side. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown. But they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
So he's hit pay dirt twice, but still they're facing that deficit here in the second half.
So they're going to see if they can continue to find ways to get him to football, because obviously something is working for him to find the end zone twice. In any event, however this turns out, he's going to be hard to deal with in the film room, isn't he? He's going to want to know why he's not getting more passes thrown to him.
Those big tight ends are getting greedy. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Patriots offense now. They work their way back onto the field. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. They run on first down as they get about 3. 2nd and 7 forthcoming. A gain of 3, 2nd down. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. They run again with Jackson. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Vic to throw it. He's going to rifle. He's got a man. Complete. 20. 10. And they're going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Lutz good on the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Fielded about a yard deep. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Rams offense now making their way out to take over. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest, it's a foot race. The 40, the 20, 10, and he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. They can now enjoy the final stages of this one. A very convincing win. I don't know what was said in the locker room, but whatever it was, it worked pretty well.
It certainly did, and it's probably a capper to everything that was said during the week, because they go over every eventuality. I mean, you know how coaches are. They want to cover every minute detail, all the way up to how much time does it take to walk from the locker room to the field, you name it.
It's caught inside the 25. And he is finally out of bounds, but he gets all the way down right around the 20. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long. And I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them. And now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
So the challenge comes in inside of 2 minutes, and it gets overturned.
And it changes the whole format of what's about to happen.
It's caught inside the 25. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to, because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head.
But that's
the virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it's finished off by a Pats touchdown. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call play,
the Pats are going to get there. Down he goes. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the fourth. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. And he's going to go down again. Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their second, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds remaining. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and... Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. The Rams going to be forced to use their third and final timeout, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the ballgame. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. They'll call this a 41-yard punt, 7 on the return. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit triple zeros. Despite the late lead, Vic's going to throw. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And this will be caught. We'll forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with it. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, get the points for me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this.